Thank you for introduction. So today we held the Ruby Hack Challenge. So Ruby Hack Challenge is the hacking the MRI. So Maths Ruby interpreter or implementation. So written in C. So maybe at the other rooms, maybe they wrote Ruby, but in this room you need to write C language. So maybe most of people using Ruby interpreter. So the small four letters Ruby command. So Ruby command is written in C, and maybe you are using and you have some interest about software. So we want to guide to hack the interpreter itself. So the goal of this workshop is hack Ruby interpreter with your favorite modification or try recent features. So Ruby 3.4 will be released soon, and the Ruby master branch has many new features, so please try on your laptop such new features. And if you have any issues or any requests, so maybe Matt will be this maybe 1 hour later, so you can discuss. So I don't like this feature or something like, so you can ask him directly. And the quiz will be more easier, I think. Anyway, so I want to show some the grounds of the Ruby interpreter. So Ruby interpreter is so usually your application. Excuse me. Your よいしょこれかよいしょ Usually, you are writing an application with many gems, so such as Ruby on Rails or something like that, and the Ruby interpreter is based at the lowest level of the software stack. However, from the Ruby interpreter perspective, all of Ruby gems, your applications, Ruby on Rails softwares or something like that, everything Ruby script. And they are passed to the abstract syntax tree and compile it to the Ruby bytecode, and Ruby interpreted by the interpreters. So in this workshop, we will modify this area, so Ruby interpreter internals. So we have some steps. So we prepare the documents. Maybe you can share. You already know the website about the Ruby Hack Challenge, and you can read every documents. So at first, the first exercise is to change the version string. So Ruby-V shows the Ruby version string. So you can modify anything you want. For example, your name is Ruby, or Python, or Perl, or something like that. So anything you can change the version string. Maybe it is very easy step, but it's your own interpreter. So please try to make your own Ruby interpreter. And after that, so please enjoy the reading the documents and try the exercise in the documents. Or if you have any interest about to introduce the new features, such as make a new method or making a new mechanism, for example, in virtual machine, garbage collection, or something like that, maybe there are many experts in this room, so you can ask them to how to make it or something, or try the newest Ruby interpreter. So the pre-release of Ruby 3.4 and so on. So this page shows a hacking idea. So if you have the favorite features, so there is no problem. So please try to implement that or fix a bug. So you can find the bug report or feature request reports on the this website. So bugs, Ruby old issues. So many people report to the new issues on this site. So please check this one and check the feature requests or bug reports. And for example, so on the bug report, so reproducing process is very important for us. So for example, so checking the reproducible code or something like that, and the reports, new reports. So I can also reproduce this issue or something like that. Another idea, another strange idea is, so for example, we have here document in Ruby. So here document, we can write any text. So we can write C source code, Rust source code, Python source code, or anything. And how about to run the here document with the, for example, the Python interpreter. So this is a one simple idea. Or another weird idea is to sound the high tone at the if the so modify the virtual machine and the sound high tone when the if statement the condition was true, pong, and the low tone, boom, at the condition was false. So the program will sound strange music. Or, so this is a weird idea, but this idea is from the students, so high school students, and they can sound great music with some applications. Or so for example, if you have interest about the mechanism of virtual machine, so visualize the internal machine stacks. Oh, sorry, virtual machine stacks, and shows many stack growing and so on. Is the very easy to see what the virtual machine Ruby interpreter that is doing. So this is only an idea, so you can make your own idea. So lecture materials is here, and the schedule is here. So you can, so this guide only 10 minutes, and after that, so you please enjoy your Ruby hacking, Ruby interpreter hacking on yourself, and please ask us for if you have any trouble. Of course, this room only has a few tables, so of course you can go out to hack with your laptop outside of this room or in your hotel room or anywhere. And I want to emphasize that from the 12 at noon, so we will make Ask Ruby Code Developer session. So please raise your hand. You are Ruby core developer. So many Ruby core developers. So thank you so much. So they can stand or sit down around there. So you can ask anything to us. So after that, so I want to ask that to prepare this AMA session, so please write your question on this HackMD page, your question to this page. So anyone can write the HackMD page. So please please write your questions, and we can manage these questions. And after lunch, so please continue your interpreter hacking. And after that, so at the last of this workshop, so maybe someone have your achievements. So please talk your achievement at this stage. Okay, this is everything about this workshop. So again, could you so Ruby core committee, please come here, and could you introduce yourself with one message? All of us right now? Yeah. Go first. So you can memorize the name, the face, and the name.
Name?
Go first.
This is my face. My name is Eileen, or Eileen Codes on the internet. So I don't know. Next.
Hi, my name's Aaron. I like I like hacking on Ruby. So if you have any questions about hacking on Ruby core stuff, please come say hello, and I will help you.
I'm John Hawthorne, or Jay Hawthorne. Looking forward to hacking.
I'm Peter Zhu. I work at Shopify on Ruby.
GC stuff.
Yeah, specifically GC stuff.
I'm Alan. I work on widget stuff at Shopify. I'm friendly, but maybe I lack interpersonal skills compared to some of the rest of these guys. So don't read too much into my behavior. And come ask me if you have any questions.
Hi, I'm Akira from Japan. I'm a Rails guy actually, but I run a conference in Japan called Ruby Kaigi. I hope to see you all there in Japan next year. Thank you.
I'm Yusuke. My account name is Mame, M-A-M-E, and you may see my name in the bug tracker of Ruby. And so I think I have the least communication skill because I am very poor in English, but I will give it a try. So please ask anything. Thank you.
Go back to you. Thank you so much. So so the guidance is over. So please enjoy your interpreter hacking. Enjoy. Please join the this Slack channel on this conference workshop Ruby Hack Challenge.
Oh yeah, we don't need to stop.
All right. Let's do this, I guess. Hajimeyoka. All right. Ruby core team, please come up here to the stage. We're gonna do Q&A now. This is your opportunity to ask the Ruby core team questions, air grievances, maybe get Mats to commit your favorite feature to the language. So we've got I don't know if you all saw the HackMD thing in the Slack, but we We have a HackMD where you can add some stuff to it. We're just going to go through all of these and discuss them. This is a bit of this particular format here is a bit of a tradition that we have at RubyCaigi, and we're bringing it here to RubyConf, so only in a little bit smaller format. There are a few more Ruby core team members in Japan than there are here. Just a few. All right. Let's see. So we did the hack challenge. We're gonna do some stuff here. So we got a question. Our first question is, I put them up here on the board, but I'm gonna read it aloud for you all. Mats, you published that Ruby 4 will be shipped with annotation features at Euroko 2024. Could you elaborate more? Koichi is asking. What is? Do we have another mic? Thank you. So, Mats, what is the annotation? What is that? What does that mean? Annotation feature.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll try to kill some more time while we wait for the yeah, no, it's okay.
Testing.
Who wants the mic? Yeah. Okay, great. I have another one too, if that would help.
Yeah, sure. Please.
Great, I'll be right back.
The annotation is kind of the adding the meta information to the code, like it's kind of similar to for example, the C#, the attribute, or the Python declaration or something like that. But the Python declaration is too close to the code, so the think about the C#, that attribute is a kind of close thing. So the meta programming code can retrieve the meta information added by the annotation, so that we modify the code according to the value of the attribute. But I have no concrete plan yet, so that it's just a vague idea.
So what does the annotation look like? Is it going to be part of the language, like defu? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
something like that.
I haven't decided any appearance yet. For example, in some languages they use the double square bracket, but it has meaning in Ruby, so that the open square bracket, two open.
Where do I put it?
Yeah.
Double bracket?
Double brackets. Before the def.
Before the def. Ah, okay. So like
square bracket.
Two open.
Two open.
Ah, okay, I see. Sorry. Like that?
Then
something.
Or say read only or something.
Ah, okay. Like,
something like that. But the double bracket itself has the proper meaning in Ruby already, so that we cannot use that. But kind of like that.
Okay. Oh.
Matsumoto-san, you don't show the annotation talk at this RubyConf keynote.
Yeah. Because it's too vague to explain in the public.
I see.
Okay. Usually I put some kind of the very early ideas into the keynote, traditionally, so that when I counted the ideas in the RubyConf keynotes, it was only 70% of these vague ideas I implemented in the canonical Ruby. Okay. I'm not sure the annotation will be which category, not implemented or implemented.
Okay. Should we move on to our next question? Mats, feature 2025 was merged. On the other hand, there are some reports which show many warnings. Do you want to continue it? What is 2025? Let's take a look. I don't know. I clicked the link. Oh, there we go. Frozen string literal by default. I'll answer. We should keep this.
Because of the performance?
Yes, and I like it. And I hate putting that comment because we have to put that comment everywhere.
And too many people like copy like files and like don't actually fix stuff, so it's all messed up. They don't know what they're doing, so just get rid of that comment. I hate it.
Yeah, we should make it default so we don't have to do this comment.
You mean a magic comment?
Yeah. This. Like, okay, how many people in here? Do you put this at the top of all your files? Yeah. Does it suck? You have to put this at the top? Yes. Yeah, but this feature, so this, if I remember correctly, this feature, it doesn't break anything right now. It just warns you that you could be mutating it. And it gives you the opportunity for you to put this comment, but you can specify false here. So if you don't want to change your code, you can just say, I do not want frozen string literals.
You can also
Yeah.
If you really need, you can also run the whole interpreter with disable frozen string literal. So if you have some legacy application and don't have the ability to go through and fix everything, you should still, even when this becomes default someday, you should be able to turn it off.
All right, so
to be honest, I'm not a fan of this change. I think Ruby is free, so Ruby string is also free for modification by default. So I don't like this change. I think Mats was wrong about this, wrong decision about this.
What?
Yeah.
So just now we have a warning for the modification to the literals just now, and there are some reports. There's so many such a warnings. So actually from actual applications, I'm not sure, but so with this report, you don't change your mind just now.
Not yet. Yeah, mostly because of so many people already use the magic comment too, so that we use the frozen string literals. And the second thing is that we still expecting the performance improvement by the frozen string literals.
Oops.
Actually, when I got this idea first, I expecting the much more performance improvement because of the lower GC pressure for strings or something like that. But in reality, this is not that much yet. So I still hope that we still have the room to improve the performance.
So actually, it doesn't seem to warn you by default. You have to use -W, it looks like. Which nobody does.
But the rake test task adding the -W automatically.
Oh, does it?
Mm-hmm.
I think we shut it off in Rails. I'm pretty sure. Don't we?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? No, like the default. Like I think the default test tasks don't run with -W. Does it? Oh, good.
Only on CI though, so not locally.
Oh. Only on CI, apparently. But no, that's true for Rails itself, but Rails apps I don't think it runs with dash. Yeah, I don't think that runs with dash W.
I think it does.
Does it? Does anyone know?
Someone check.
Okay. Oh, this is my secret branch. Yeah, don't get too excited, please. Let's see. How do I make a new app? Bundle exec Ruby. Rail ties. Sure. Oh, we got to do dash dev. Okay. Oh, this is going to take forever. Let's go back to this guy. All right, so what do we think here? Matt's, we're going to keep this? Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And under the current situation, yes. But
okay.
Yeah, I'm not fully satisfied though. But yes.
All right. Our next question here is from Koichi. It says, to Shopify Ruby core team, I guess that's the 4 of us, these 3 plus me. How to communicate with each other, and how frequent do you share the details of each other's projects? Should I answer that? You guys care? You guys want to comment? You comment.
Is that on now? Okay. We have like 2-3 meetings a week. Sometimes it's too many, but we talk about that, and then we have a little geek bot thing that asks us about our project, and then if we need more meetings, we have more meetings. So like I would say communicate a lot about our projects.
We have weekly meetings between all teams.
Do you make a big goal for some period? For example, the 1 year goal or half year goal or quarter goal or something like that?
Our process somewhat gets contaminated by the wider project management process at Shopify.
Mm-hmm.
So we do the longer term planning through that. I can't go into the details because it's decided by the higher ups. They kind of come down and do this sort of planning and just like set dates and whatever. But also at the team level, we have our own internal GitHub board where we prioritize that way.
So I also want to add that each of us as individuals have a lot of autonomy on what we do. And for example, when I have ideas for new projects, I do prototypes and MVPs for a couple of days, maybe a week, to demonstrate the feasibility and the benefits that we get. And once we demonstrate that, we can propose those as projects to our leadership, to our management, and they formally become projects depending on our capacity as how many projects we have going on at the same time, and based on priority. So some examples of this is work that I've done in the past with memory management inside of Ruby, such as the Ruby memcheck gem or the Ruby free at exit feature that was introduced in Ruby 3.3 to make tools like Valgrind or ASAN, address sanitizers by Google, those tools to work on Ruby, so you can find memory leaks inside of Ruby or in native gems such as Nokogiri and whatnot. And those were features that I had an idea in my mind, and they weren't in any sort of formal planning, but we worked on those because people on the team like demonstrated that these features are useful and they can be implemented within a few months.
I see. Thank you.
We're blessed with great managers
I see.
like Gufu.
So the background of this question is that Ruby is open source software and there are no managers. So maybe this is the first time to get such a sophisticated workflow. So I want to ask how to do that. So this was background. Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. What is your development environment? Koichi asks.
You are using the Mac OS? No.
I prefer Linux.
Linux? All of you using Linux?
I'm macOS, but have access to those cloud things for Linux.
I use a mix of macOS and Linux. I have a macOS machine, but it's kind of like my dumb terminal. I'm usually SSH into a Linux machine, but then if I'm on an airplane, I'm developing on macOS. So both. And Vim.
Yeah. Vim.
Everyone use Vim.
No.
No.
What do you use? Oof.
Cool.
Regular VS Code mode.
I use a mix of Mac OS and Linux too. Because work supplies me with the laptop, and I like the immediacy of the responsiveness of typing straight into the laptop. I use macOS. But for some advanced tools like RR, which allows for time traveling debugging, those are only available on Metal machines on Linux. So even with, like, if you rent a VM with AWS, for example, that wouldn't even work. So for specific tasks, like say you get a bug report that's Linux specific, you have to use Linux, so it's always a mix.
macOS and NVim.
Nice. Yes.
I think I am only one. Okay, two. I use Windows, and but native Windows is not for me, so I'm using a virtual machine called WSL2. And as an editor, I was a long fan of Vim, but recently I use VS Code. Okay.
I also use a WSL2 on Windows, and they're using the Emacs clone editor. Nobody uses the XYZ, that's why.
I use Linux 100%. My laptop is Linux, and my desktop is Linux, and I use Emacs. I use Emacs. I use Emacs.
Okay. We have one Emacs user. Oh, me. I use macOS and Linux, but I use Vim. What questions should we do here? I feel like we should take some from the audience. Should we do this one? Izumi-san? Let's do this one. How do we make strings faster in MRI? Any ideas?
The one idea is that for the very big and long strings, that we can use the data structure named rope, but I have no other idea yet.
Yeah, I think we should do that one. Maybe let me try to find the ticket.
The string adoption?
Yeah, string adoption. How do I search this thing?
Yeah, I didn't write I haven't write the answer yet to that issue, but I don't like the name adapt.
Where is it? Adopt. I don't see his ticket.
Latest issues.
Latest issues. Okay. Oh. Okay. No. No.
Seems just adapt.
Adopt. Okay.
It's ticket 20878.
Thank you. 20878. There we go. Okay, so I'll describe this for everybody here in the audience. What this is a C API that creates a string object given. So you give it a list of characters in C, and it creates a new string object with that. The difference between this API and our current API, C API, is that when you say, "Hey, make a new string for me, please," in C, it'll take that string and it'll memcopy it into a buffer that it owns. In this case, we're saying, hey, I want you to make a string object, but I want you to take ownership. I want you to take ownership of these bytes. So the idea behind this is that, like, say we read something off of the network. Every time we want to make a new Ruby string, we have to copy all the bytes that we read off the network. In this case, we're saying, hey, I don't want you to copy those bytes. I just want you to own them now. So it allows us to create new Ruby strings without doing a bunch of mem copies. So that's one idea. But apparently Mats doesn't like the name adopt. So, but you're not against the feature in general. Yeah, okay. All right. Let's pick another issue. Sure, yeah, let's do, okay. Yesterday, you touched on auto-typing being introduced to Ruby. What would that look like, and what does it mean for RBS?
The RBS is the part of the technology that forms the automatic typing, probably.
Okay. So it'll help with auto-typing. Okay. Any plans for better Rust extension support, e.g. official bindings and the like? I think the answer is no. Alan, do you want to comment?
I have strong opinions about this because in the company we have a bunch of people writing Rust extensions and have labor on the false assumption that they're safe, and usually when it's a big red flag because we've shipped Rust extensions to production and they've fallen over multiple times, and it's in the categories of bugs in there are the type of bugs that you would think Rust solves. So I'm biased against more Rust extensions, and the worst part is the people writing the Rust extensions don't have the requisite knowledge to debug those problems, and the production debugging ends up falling onto us. That's just the other reason why I don't like it. So I would prefer at least not in the current shape of the Rust extension landscape that we add official support. I think if we want to, a lot more work needs to be done in that area.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. You said the Rust extensions have sort of fallen over production ways that you wouldn't expect them to if they Rust. What can you be a bit more specific?
So Ruby right now Ruby's API is a C API, and C++ too, but mainly C. And the C++ part was added less recently too. So as soon as you switch into Rust, you've given away the ability to get first-party support from Ruby core, because from our perspective, we're supporting the C API, and so you're sort of a tier down anymore. Like whatever support you get is filtered through a third party, whoever is maintaining the infrastructure that's doing the C to Rust translation, and in that process, bugs are introduced because the C APIs, they have contracts. Sometimes they don't get transferred over to the Rust side correctly, but the contracts are contracts. If you break them unknowingly, your whole app will fall over. So I think that's part of the reason why the Rust extensions haven't been of great quality, of the ones I've seen.
That makes a lot of sense. In what way does the app fall over in that case?
They fall over due to like code process crashes, memory corruption, concurrency issues. Like there's like a very sharp API where you could release the global interpreter lock, and if they don't use that properly, you get hard to debug action at a distance bugs, that sort of things.
So one of the things that Rust guarantees is that it frees all of your memory for you using the borrow checker. So it knows when things go out of context. It knows, so then that memory can be released back to the system. And one of the things that it's very hard to think about in Ruby are exceptions. So you use exceptions in Ruby, you raise it, and everything seems easy. But in the C API, that's actually it's actually very hard to reason about how exceptions work, because how exceptions work under the hood in Ruby is that when an exception happens, it does what's called a long jump to the next Ruby frame, to the bottommost Ruby frame, and that means that it skips a whole lot of native frames that you have either in C or in Rust or in C++ or whatever, and that circumvents all of the borrow checker stuff. So everything that you've allocated will not get deallocated, and because it will immediately jump to the last frame, the last C frame that corresponds to a Ruby frame inside of Ruby. And so if you use anything inside of Ruby that could possibly raise an exception or raise an exception yourself, then you have to make sure that everything that the borrow checker had, that every memory that you've allocated within all of those frames will have to be freed, or otherwise it will just leak. And so those are guarantees that you think you have because you're using Rust, but because you are using that as a Ruby extension, you actually do not have any of those guarantees. Yeah, it's also true for C++, and it's also a problem for C programs because it could still long jump and you could leak memory. So it's a problem for everything, but at least in C, you're a lot less confident because you don't have these guarantees. But in Rust, you feel like you have these guarantees, but you really don't.
Yeah, I think the problem is with Rust extensions, it's you have a false sense of security that Rust is going to deal with all this stuff for you, but you actually have the same foot guns and gotchas in Rust when dealing with the Ruby interpreter as you do in C. Like, it's not any more safe. So, okay. Let's do another. Anyway, I don't know. So to answer this question, do we have plans? No, I don't think there's any plans. Matt, are there plans? For better Rust extension support?
The few of us use Rust as a primary language, so that we knew a little about the Rust interpretation between C and Rust. So that means that we cannot provide the better Rust support from us, so that if someone contributes the ideas or the implementation for the Rust integration to the Ruby, so that I'm not against about integrating them, but I don't think we can provide by ourselves so that the better Rust extension support. In my opinion, so that if we can to provide the Rust feature to Ruby, you mean that if Rust extension callbacks to the Ruby VM does not call back to the Ruby VM, there's an easy way to integrate Rust extension. But if the Rust extension tries to interact to the Ruby VM back and forth, it is far more difficult due to the issues just Alan then explained.
All right.
Oh, yeah, and exception. Yeah, of course, he does it.
Oh, ropes. SIMD support. Ah. Ooh. Oh, this is a good idea. Yes. SIMD support. So SIMD stands for single instruction, multiple data? Yeah, right. So it's basically like one instruction that lets you do things. It's a type of parallel computing that you can do. So you can do stuff faster, basically. So I guess we might use this for code ranges. Yeah. Analyzing strings. Let's pick. What should we pick? Oh, wait. What is this? What is this one? Did we do this one? How about this feature? Sure, let's read it. 2087. I have it memorized. No. Atomic initialization for Ractor local storage. I don't know this ticket.
Yeah, it's all up to you.
So I asked, so in advance, I asked about this feature.
Yeah, in
and
the last developers meeting,
you don't like this name, maybe.
Yeah.
Or is
yeah.
it acceptable?
You renamed the local variable to storage, right?
Local storage init.
Yeah. Local storage init. Much better.
Acceptable?
Yeah, and yeah, it's okay, but but the term init has the several meaning, could have several meaning, like initializing or assignments or something like that. Yeah. Does init only is
you want the code
only call
here?
once or something?
So this is how to implement. So maybe usage is the lower lines. So this one.
What is this for? What
explains the background? So
yeah.
This method. So we have a Ractor local storage, and we can get and read the from the local storage already. We have already feature, but we don't have a way to set the initialize atomically. So for example, on the Ractor we can run the multiple threads, and so the many threads can initialize one local storage. So it is a problem, and there is no way to prevent such a situation. So this method is provide for this to initialize the some data in atomically. So for example, so we don't need this feature for the without Ractor, because we can initialize at the required timing. But if we want to initialize lazily, so after require, so any threads can initialize this data, so this kind of data. So we need to make a way to initialize only once. So this is same as regular expressions once option.
Every time the inc stands for increment method code,
Yes.
It tries to call the local storage init, and what?
And
Once if we don't have the local storage named MTX,
then initialize
it
with block.
But if we already have the local storage named MTX, the block is simply ignored. You mean?
Return the MTX data.
Right. I can understand your intention, and then the local storage named then call synchronize to the return value. So you have two local storage named
Yes.
MTX and
Yes.
count.
Yes.
But you only call the local storage init to the MTX because it should be, I don't know, atomic or something.
So the count also initialized at the beginning in this case. Yes, so that's the begin. So the large begin you capital begin, and maybe so it shows that the every reactor run this begin block, for example. For yeah, if it is needed. So begin forced to run every reactor, but in this case, well, we can initialize very easily.
So for me to understand.
Now I understand the intention, but I don't think the name provide enough information for the behavior, because you only provide the name init, stands for initialize, but it has some kind of the conditional check if the storage name is already initialized or not. That would be not intuitive name
Right,
for the
so-
behavior, I think, because of the init usually stands for initialize, but this one, the initialize that, but in addition, if the storage is already initialized, it just ignore them. So that conditional is not included in the name. That is kind of problem, I think.
Do you have a good name of that?
I'm not
No?
sure
I
yet.
see. I see. All right. So it is not accepted yet. So
Yeah.
because
I
of
understand the behavior and the
and the
requirements,
requirements.
but
So-
I don't agree with the name.
All right. So the naming issue.
Naming issue.
Okay.
And hi.
The reason I was saying in the beginning is I think it feels like what you want is a run once method
Mhm.
with no parameters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Exactly.
Will can be run once.
Yeah,
Once.
probably he wants to be some kind of the lazy initialization, so that
Once.
if we don't call the say the inc method, the inc method at all, so that we don't initialize the MTX at all, so that's what he needed, I think.
And once is another terminology. I agree that we in this case. So anyway, so we have conclusion about that. So name is not.
Okay. Is anyone putting this in HackMD? I'm not.
It's
Thank you.
it's kind of like a developers meeting. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we held a developers meeting in the once a month. So we discuss each features, and there so Matsumoto and the other developers
I don't like
discussing
the
the
name.
features and names, and so like this time, so there are many name is not so satisfied.
I don't like the
Conclusion,
name.
Oh,
Okay.
anyway.
I like this question. Other than Ruby, what is your favorite language?
I can't pick one.
List them.
I know. Yeah, I have written Quine in many languages, 128 languages, but so I can't pick one.
I'll skip this question.
x86, 64. Ideally with AVX2, AVX512 support. Anyone? No?
Controversial, but I actually kind of really enjoy Java. There's a
Oh.
lot of very nice things, a lot of very good tooling in Java.
But it works.
The typing system makes sense and what is well thought out, looks elegant. Sorbet. And yeah, but there's a lot of downsides of Java, but so does any other language.
Oh, I don't know. I don't write a lot of other languages. It's just like C. I was gonna joke that it's like wherever you make files in. Since I spent so much time doing that, I'm like now a make file expert. It's not something you actually want to be an expert in.
I earnestly see. I really like it, but I can't defend that choice.
Koichi.
I also like C because it is easy to understand what their code become to the machine language.
Matt.
Me? As a programmer, I like C. As a language designer, I like response model.
I like Zig.
Zig.
Yeah. Because I'm a hipster.
Why do you like?
Huh?
Why do you like Zig?
Why do I like Zig? It's nice. Like it's easy to write, and it's less like I feel like if I try to use, it's like using Rust, but the compiler doesn't complain all the time.
Yeah, much simpler. And the more closer integration to C.
Yeah. It's what I really like about it is I can use Zig and call into C libraries, but I don't have to use like bindgen or anything. It just works.
C.
Oh, it even catches C bugs. Yeah, I compiled Prism with Zig, and then Zig caught a bug in Prism, so I was able to fix that. So Zig's C compiler is really cool.
And I can easily cross-compile everything.
Okay, that's all of us. Let's do next question. Matt.
Yes.
You misunderstood the behavior of Colonel Sleep in the game show. How about changing the behavior?
Yeah. The behavior is sleep returns the seconds slept as a return value. The point is, I thought the integer to float conversion is the normal casting, like a cutoff, but actually it rounded.
Okay. Yeah.
That's my misunderstanding. Actually, the original version of the sleeve which I wrote was the use the plain sleep library C library function, which returns a second, so that the unit is the integer. Then later, someone, I don't remember who, but someone extended to to accept the float value as the more precise time, and then we kept the return value as an integer, as some kind of the contract or signature. So that's what I remember. But I don't remember how to convert the float to integer. Like I thought it is cast to the cutoff, but it actually rounded.
Okay. So are we going to change the behavior? No?
Mame is talking about that.
All right. Let's see. We have more questions at the bottom, but I'm going to be really selfish right now and do this one. Because this is my question. So I filed this feature to add an environment variable for changing the thread quantum. This is the ticket. So basically, I'll do a very, very short presentation. Who here went to Evo's talk or to Koichi's talk? Okay, a few people. All right, yeah. You went to your own talk, great. So we have an issue, like if you have two threads like T1 and T2, and they're running at the same time, but we don't actually run at the same time because we have a GVL. So we can only get CPU, either one of these threads can only control the CPU one at a time. But we have a certain thing where you can do like I/O. So let's say T1 is doing I/O for an amount of time. While it's doing I/O, we allow T2 to execute. So T2 is allowed to do CPU time here. CPU. So it can run, but we have an issue where when we switch between threads, we switch on a quantum, which is 100 milliseconds. So let's say T1 is doing CPU time. It's allowed to do that CPU time for 100 milliseconds before we switch to T2. Now the issue is, if we have two things running truly in parallel here, like I/O and CPU, let's say this CPU time here starts right here, and it's 100 milliseconds for our quantum. Now this I/O time, we're not allowed to switch back to T1 until this quantum finishes here. So the amount of time we get to come back, return to T1, is actually I/O time plus quantum.
Yeah.
So my problem is that I think 100 milliseconds is too long. So I want to shorten that, and I want to do it with a environment variable, and that is what this is about.
Yeah. Okay.
So we can merge this.
So we have the current 100 millisecond time quantum has no strong opinion. So there is no strong reason to determine this number. So maybe nobody against to introduce this environment variable, I think.
Okay.
So anyway, your sample program doesn't make sense to show the problem. So
yes,
I want to
yeah, Evo. So Evo made a comment showing the actual problem. So if you see,
I understand the
Okay.
actual problem, but your sample, it doesn't make sense.
Sorry.
I want to emphasize.
Jeez. Okay.
And also, we need to discuss more about the Name of environment variable.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
Anyway,
Okay, the name of the environment
so
variable.
Maybe,
All right.
Maybe we can accept that.
All right. Okay.
I'm not so strongly against this proposal, but I'm a bit afraid that of the overhead because too short thread quantum may cause overhead. So, did you perform performance evaluation?
We haven't tried performance evaluation on this yet.
I think it is needed first. I think.
So that yes, the question is, could it be available but 100 by default? That's what this patch is it doesn't change the default, so it's always the same. That was the idea, is we default to 100 and then people can tweak it depending on what their application does. Because the problem is, it depends on what your app is actually doing. Okay. All right. So yes, we can merge this, but with a different name.
Yeah, we usually use the say something limit or as a name of the parameter, like environment variable. But I'm not sure the quantum is proper now.
Okay.
Yeah, 100 millisecond is the ancient Linux context switch timing.
I think that it isn't anymore.
Yeah,
it's now-
it's no more. It's ancient.
Yeah,
ancient
I think
value.
it's dynamic or something.
Yeah. I understand.
I think the scheduler also changed within the last year again, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea too, but it's originally taken from the Linux process context switching timing.
Okay. All right. I'll propose a few other names and then add it to the dev meeting. Thank you. All right. This is a good question. How did you end up building programming languages? I think Matt should start with this one. How did you start building programming languages?
I just wanted. For most of the people, that programming language is given, so that you learn the existing programming language and write programs like games, applications, or something. But for me, I want to design the interaction between computer and human. This is so that to accomplish that purpose of the designing the interaction, so that I'd like to design my own programming language. That's the whole purpose. And then why I wanted that's for joy.
No, I think you should go, Koichi. Yeah.
When I was a university student, I went to academic lecture course about garbage collection.
Yeah.
And I sit down at the table and see the next chair, Matsumoto-san is there. That's all.
That's all. Yeah, I recruited.
The reason why I was involved in Ruby development is because Ruby was buggy. So especially when I became a committer, yet another Ruby interpreter was introduced to Ruby master branch, and it was very buggy. So I was enjoyed. I was enjoying debugging, and I became a committer.
Well, I was just a Rails developer, but luckily I was born in Japan. I lived in Japan, so I could see and directly talk to the language creators. I loved that experience, and still in love with that experience. I can't quit, and that's what I'm doing.
Not really a language builder. I got my start building a compiler, but I didn't really design the language. It's more a clone of things I already thought. I was mainly interested in the mechanism inside of the compiler more than coming up with language constructs that people may or may not like. I don't particularly have many opinions in that area. And once I got started at work, we had a bunch of Ruby crashes on Mac OS, and I sort of felt this indignation that why would it be crashing? Like, it's so simple, just go fix the bug. And that's sort of how I started.
I'm also not really a language builder. I mean, I just make the language faster. But I was originally just a Rails dev. And then 4.5 years ago, I joined this team at Shopify where they were like, make Ruby faster with this idea. And I was just a little intern and I was like, what? You know, for the fear of not losing my job as an intern, I learned how to do all of this, and now here I am. Yeah, the person who assigned my work is sitting right here.
I would say in my case it's Aaron's fault. Because I found a bug in Rails and he was like, why don't they fix that? So we ended up pairing on it, and then he pushed all of the stuff he didn't want to work on onto my plate. And here we are.
Similar for me, I think I wrote Ruby for 10 years before getting involved in improving the language, and I think I just didn't realize that it was possible until then. So, which is also Aaron's fault. Thank you.
Really? All right. I feel like I've cursed you more than. I also don't consider myself to be really a programming language builder. I just was really interested in how Ruby itself worked, dove into the code, and tried to improve it. I mean, I just basically, I learned the language. I fell in love with being a Ruby programmer. I learned Rails. I really enjoyed building websites and stuff with building applications with Rails. But I wanted to know, I'm just very curious, and I want to keep going deeper into how does this thing work. And then okay, well, now I understand that. Well, how does the thing below that work? And then I just keep going deeper until I understand as much as I can. So I did say in my talk that learning sucks, but that's not true. I actually like learning. Let's see. Everyone, how much time do you spend building non-trivial code with languages besides Ruby and C or Rust for Ruby dev? And how does that affect your language design and direction of Ruby? Oh my goodness. Wow. Mats, do you build any applications with languages besides Ruby or C?
Some years ago, I wanted to switch to the Gmail when Gmail introduced in 2004 or something. But at that time, we didn't have some kind of the universal internet access. So that during on the plane or maybe in the transit, so that we didn't have the internet access at the moment. So that I decided to write my own mail reader to work just like the Gmail, no folders, no classification, just a full text search, then things. Then I wrote the backend in Ruby, but I wrote its front end, the interface in Emacs Lisp. and I still use it. So that all my email is handled by the Emacs Lisp. I use Gmail at the main as a mail reader, but when I write replies, I use Emacs.
Okay. Let's see. Koichi, do you build anything with besides? Do you use any languages besides Ruby or C?
So so recently I made a debug gem, so debug of Ruby in Ruby. So I feel that so Ruby is very fantastic language.
Fantastic language.
So very easy to write.
Yeah, I agree.
And we can find the many things we need to implement in C Ruby to support the debugger.
Not Ruby.
Not for Ruby, yeah. In my hobby time, I enjoy development web front end. So I enjoy TypeScript and JavaScript. But to be honest, I'm not sure how it affects the design decision of Ruby.
Didn't you build a flag guessing game?
Flag guessing game. Every 4 years.
Minesweeper? I don't know where it is. This isn't.
Minesweeper spoiled by AI.
Ah, yeah.
I think yes, that year. This is a Minesweeper game, but it is automatically selected by AI. So please pick any cell. Yeah, and yes. So you can just like testing. So brain testing part is automatically done by AI, and you can just enjoy luck testing, picking random cell by your luck. So this is one of my job projects.
Ah!
I don't know. I'm trying to do everything with Ruby.
Similar to the Emacs Lisp situation, I used NeoVim, which comes with Lua scripting. And also it interacts with WinScript. So I do some of that. And also with Lua, I use this window manager for Xorg called AwesomeWM. It's scriptable in Lua, and you could do whatever you want with the windows on screen. Like say you want to have some presets or whatever, the way windows are laid out, you deal with that in Lua. So, and then when it comes to how it impacts my language design skills, not very much. If anything, it makes me appreciate the myriads of batteries that come with Ruby. Lua is it's a very simple scripting language in the sense that there aren't that many moving parts, so you don't get the batteries built in. I often find myself wanting something that would be in Ruby, but you need to look around to figure out how to do the same thing in Lua. But I appreciate the simplicity of the language, similar to how mostly everything in Ruby could be explained by method calls, like that part of Lua.
So there is this one game that we're allowed to expense at work. It's called Factorio. And a couple of weeks ago, I decided that I was bored and I was going to get it. And let's just say it has become my second full-time job. Because unfortunately, it doesn't pay me. And so how it affects my design and direction of Ruby? Well, definitely in a negative way.
I don't remember the last time I worked on something that wasn't C Ruby or Rails. One time I wrote a Apple shortcut to scrape Peloton site to put it in a spreadsheet so I knew what workouts I was going to do that week. But I haven't used it in a while, and that required me to write some JavaScript, which I did not enjoy. So, yeah.
Similar, stuck with try to do as much as Ruby as possible.
Oh, I'll go. Okay, let's see. I've been trying to write stuff in R, like whenever I need to do graphs, I'll use R. I'm very proud of this Vim script, Vim plugin I made. Let's see. Was it RTF? Something. This. It's a Vim plugin that converts your code to RTF. So basically, like, you highlight the code and then you do to RTF on it, and then you can paste the code into Keynote, and it is syntax highlighted for you. So, and you can like highlight stuff and then copy it as RTF and then paste that into Keynote, and it just works. So this is my very first non-trivial Vim script plugin, and I'll tell you, working with Vim script makes me realize how bad of a language it is. It's really bad, and I love Ruby so much. So yes.
With NeoVim, it comes with scripting support for including Ruby too. So you could port all your Vim script to Ruby if you really want.
Vim, you can also do Ruby from Vim, but it's like it's just bad. It's not good. All right. Next question. Everyone, what's the largest in terms of memory usage Ruby application you've ever seen? Does anyone run Ruby with 10 gigabyte plus heaps successfully? Peter?
I mean, it's probably Shopify core, maybe not. I don't know. Our monolith, I don't know. Is it? It's not even that big. It's
How many gigabytes do we use? Do you know?
I think only like 2 or 3 gigs of memory. Like, I don't think we use that much.
Our test suite uses in that ballpark, like 7 gigs, 10 gigs, and sometimes it runs out. So it's a pretty tight bound. And also, Peter, you must be familiar with what happens when you run Ruby with ASAN. It balloons the memory usage.
Yeah.
So yeah, if that counts.
Maybe 10 or more years ago, so the big data was a buzzword. So I bought a 250 gigabyte machine to try the Ruby with huge memory consumption. So making the many dummy data on such a machine. So I find out that the termination of the Ruby interpreter is very, very slow on such a case. So maybe there are many inefficient uh, algorithm in the Ruby interpreter with big data. So I don't have an actual application, but maybe 100 gigabytes of Ruby application has many issues. I think it's only a comment.
Well, there has to be a production like fluency uh, server in production, I guess. I haven't seen myself, but I guess.
At work, we run a similarly large, like 1.5 gig, maybe at the largest size. So not dissimilar.
At work is
at GitHub.
All right.
So similar to Shopify's monolith, it sounds like a little smaller. Sometimes I have a tool that analyzes the heap dumps from that. So since it has to have several objects for every object the main application has in memory, that definitely gets to 10 gigs plus.
All right. Aaron, how close is your Raptor-friendly Rails branch? Not at all. Basically, Koichi was saying like, oh, we can't run Rails with Raptors, and I want to know like why specifically, because I don't know the reason why. So I started like trying to run Rails with Raptors to see what we have to change to fix it. Either change Rails or change Raptors somehow to try and investigate what the deal is. But it's not close at all. Yeah, eager booting. So I was trying to eager boot the Rails application, make make shareable on the Rails app itself, and then see what crashes or like what blows up, and then try to figure out like why. It seems like we have a lot of lambdas or something that can't be made shareable, but I'm not sure why we can't fix that. So I'm investigating. Yeah, I'm not sure why we can't use closures. Maybe Koichi can tell us.
Because closure can be modified.
The closure is modifiable?
Yeah. The external context can be modified.
Well, it has references to external data.
Yeah, that can be modified. To be shareable, the object should be recursively unmodifiable.
What can you modify in a lambda? Like, I don't get it. Alan?
We had a ticket. So I think right now the make shareable operation on Lambda is sort of a syntactic operation. A part of it is in that if it sees you writing a local variable to anything external to the Lambda, it's wholesale rejected, even though that might be saved. So we actually had a bug report recently where if they just change it so that the access is to a constant instead of a constant local variable, and that it's not changed, that the program would have worked. But the error message there was somewhat confusing, and they assumed that what they wanted to do was impossible when all they had to do was change the syntactic, like jiggle what they wrote, basically.
Can you give me an example what that is? Like a local variable write?
Read.
Even a read?
Yeah, I think.
Like this?
Yeah. So do it and then pass the lambda to make shareable. I think you would get an exception.
Like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll fix it. I see. Yeah. Ooh, that didn't work. Okay.
But if you change the x to be a constant, it should work.
But it does not. Let's make this smaller.
Oh. Yeah. It complains about the self. for that. You
Self. Right. Okay, so if we did like.
Could do the stabby lambda syntax.
Yeah.
No, stabby lambda changes situation.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No. Why? Why?
During the block, the self is the outer self.
Ah, the outer self. Okay. Okay. Let's see.
Right.
There we go.
There we go.
But if we do like X. That works. Why does that work?
The block is orphan.
The block is orphan. So if I do, can I do like X equals 1, 2, 3? Is that okay?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah. So I think maybe what's missing is more documentation or some sort of guide.
Yeah.
It's pretty new.
So it's because, in this case, it's because we're mutating the outer, we can mutate the outer environment.
Right.
Got
And
it.
yeah, the problem you ran into while typing out the program is also a usability issue, right? Like accidentally capturing self, not sure about.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you all for suffering through my test. Okay. Did we hit all the questions? I think we did. Anyone have any more questions in the audience? Should we wrap this up? Anything? Nothing. Okay. Oh, wait. No, we got
Some.
you. Yes. I'm happy to help you out, of course. Yes. Another question over here. Yes. Wait, what is the question? Do any of you use LLMs?
Question was, has anybody reaped any benefit from using LLMs like ChatGPT or Claude or Copilot? Yes.
I'll go first. I've used ChatGPT for, I used ChatGPT when I was getting started with Zig, and it helped out a lot, especially because as a very, very, very much beginner. But then the problem was, as I got a little bit better, the helpfulness completely dropped off, and it was wrong most of the time. So as my questions got more sophisticated, its answers got worse.
I don't really like how AI mansplains code to me. I can get that elsewhere. So, but I do sometimes use it to rewrite text that I've written. Fuga's gonna find out that I fed my performance review into it and told it to help me talk about leadership skills, and then I rewrote it so it didn't sound insane. Basically. That's fine. It went well. I mean, it didn't write it for me. I wrote it, and it helped me write better. And then like maybe I need it right now to help me answer this question.
It's a lot of pressure having your manager in the audience. Yes. All right, if there's no more questions, let's wrap it up. Thank you all so much. We'll come around to help you